For the average mother listening to the nightly news, the last thing they would imagine is their son's name and the word died in the same sentence. For a non-selected few other mothers, it has been an underlying premonition which finally came true. The lives led by their sons, the warnings that went unheeded, the constant lectures which seemed to drain out through the other ear, coupled with a breed of friends who exacerbated the problem, have all made these mothers' greatest fear an inconceivable reality. In this episode of Untold Stories, Mothers of Sorrow Part 2, we meet three mothers, all of whom have lost their sons under the most tragic and violent circumstances. They recount their sons' lives from childhood to final demise. For one of the three mothers, the pain was compounded when her only son was killed in his prime in an unprovoked, random, senseless killing. For mother number two, her two sons were killed execution style in one night, while mother number three's greatest fears came as no surprise. This episode highlights the lessons to other parents, the signs of rocky roads ahead, and cautions against similar experiences, all of which should be indelibly etched in the psyche of every parent. Remember, good child, it is your child. Bad child, it is still your child.
From 7 months, Marcus was not living with me. He was adopted by his grandmother. And at the age of roughly 12, he came back to stay with me because his grandmother died.
A single mother at the time, it was kind of hard doing it on my own, but through the help of family members, I got through.
I have 10 kids, 4 girls, 6 boys.
Well, he was not too much educated. He was a little behind because I believe raising with grown people, and the grandmother was not that educated, so he was a bit, and I couldn't have helped him because I was already pregnant and giving birth to them, because they are one after the other. I had doing at Marcus. I got pregnant with him at 14 and I gave birth at 15, and by 16 I had the 2 of them.
He has always been a slow individual when it comes to his schoolwork. I would say he was kind of a backwards in his reading. Well, I took him to the doctor and to find out if there was any problem, but there was no problem.
He wasn't with me, he was living with the father. So all the time, I don't know that, but they was going to school.
Well, Dwayne and Marcus, when they started the teens, they was not really together, because Marcus was not living with me. He was not around. He was living with a partner of him that was operating, and he wanted to operate, so he was living with the partner.
He later loved French, but he was slow to pick it up, but he loved French. Discipline for Lennon, it wasn't hard for me because already the kind of person that he was, people would say he was a mommy's boy, but I guess he was proud being a mommy's boy. when he comes from school, I didn't have a problem with him giving him time to get home at school. As soon as he comes from school, he would hit straight home. He would always be at home. Like, I would always be checking on him if he has homework. I would help him out when I can.
People used to say, tell me things about he used to go with other fella that bigger than him, from small, young, one touch. Thing they're concerned. I never say no. Because one day I leave him home and I go, he was digging underneath the house. Up to now he dig it, never. So I go, I leave him there. I see him digging underneath the house, but it's a good thing. I go leave him there and I go the same place on a wheel I used to sell. I tell Chevron, if you're hungry, I give him a change I have. Go down the road and buy something and eat, because I thought is there he go stay and dig there. That same day, as I go, maybe he put the thing down and he called friends, some friends on the hill, because they have a hill. So that day, I think they go and break and enter two neighbors' house. That day I lived there. I didn't know nothing. So I didn't know nothing. So that day I come, I wash some clothes and I sit down. They come in my head night time. So I see the next boy, Windall, come with a little radio. I say, Windall, why you take that little radio? Tell me, mommy, Chauvin that have that day. They have a piece of set in their bedroom. I said, go and take it. He said, mommy, they have more things. I said, go and take them, let me see. So he go, he bring a bag. They have things in it. It have hair dryer, it have all kind of things I don't even know in it. So that day I was vexed. I take it to the station. And I went to the station, the police tell me, anytime he was coming, all that right there, he was coming to search my house. Maybe that day I could take jail and I don't even know. He go to court. They send him Massad. He knock his head, he told me. I say, well, you mustn't do bad things. You mustn't touch what is not yours. So they send him Massad. Go Massad, I think in Mao. And I think they never go back inside of there again.
It started at an early age. Like, since my children were small, I was being abused by the father. He would get paid, drink his rum and grumble his money, and when he comes, he has nothing in his pocket. And at the end, on the back of it, he starts to quarrel and want to, and even hit me if I answer him or if I speak. And from small, I had Dwayne, I had Marcus, I have Delroy, I have Natalie, which I had already. These children will grow in, and seeing from that early age, he always used to do that. Anytime it would happen, he would knock me or do me anything, we would even hit him. For instance, once he bit my lips and I was bleeding, and I went and hid by a neighbor. And when Dwayne came, he saw the top with all the blood, so Dwayne asked him, where's my mother, where's my mother? And he said, so he ended up not pushing him, and he ended up falling underneath the balcony, and he said when fractured his waist, so they ended up picking him up and taking him to the hospital, and they ended up treating him at the hospital. And after that, they was not getting along. They always not talking, they always in a problem, and it was because of he was abusing me.
Talk to them, they doesn't listen. So they have to go and, that little boy had to go and rent a place. He stay in a little thing by busy day down the road. Now the brother home start living bad. So when I see if I tell you to do something and you don't want to do it, you quarreling with me. I'm your mother. You don't have no respect. So a day that get me vexed because I just sleep outside and then leave the house around 3 days. When he say go and meet the brother, and that is down there the trouble start. But he's a little boy like he go in like he want that, like things I don't even have, that's all maybe he want. Well, I always used to talk to them. That's not good. People used to tell me about them and telling Siobhan, tell me, mommy, everything people tell you, believe it. I said, no, Siobhan, they have people that lie, but not everything people say is a lie.
When he went to the interview at the Big Gardens Beach Resort, he called me as soon as he left the place and he told me, I got the job. And I said, you got the job? And I said, praise God, you got the job. And I said, when are you starting? And he told me when he's starting. And I said, anyway, when you get home, we will talk. And he got home, he told me he needed a long sleeve white shirt, black pants, and so he's going to start his job. Then I asked him how he will be working, if he's on a shift or if it's an 8 to 4 job. And he told me it would be 7-3, 3-11.
They never work for nobody. He never worked for nobody. Dwayne was living with his partner and in doing little things for him. The fella used to give him his little money. And
one day when I reach home, I see him with a piece of thing hold his arm, the fella chopping. But that one kill people already too. That is they call him that one. I don't want to say that name.
There was this particular friend of his, I would consider him to be his best friend. He was his classmate. He lived at the Mon. And Lennon would often go there for weekends, but with the parents' advice. But his other friends, among Lennon's friends, there was only one that I didn't approve. And because I don't know him, I just saw him and having a good look at him. He was already wearing earrings. And I was like, Lennon, I don't like that one. I think you should drop that one. Lennon has never been a fighter. He has never been arrested, has never had any problems with the law.
well, they arrest him countless times. Accidents. Once he was driving without license and insurance and he had an accident. They had to arrest him. When Dwayne was 18, I came from town once. I never knew he was dealing with drugs. I never knew he was smoking. I came from town and my fourth son told me the arrest Dwayne in Beaufort. I told him, what? Why? Then he told me the arrest Dwayne with marijuana. So the following day, I got up and I went down to Beaufort. When I reached, the officer told me I cannot speak to him, I cannot see him until the officer that have the matter comes in. So I wait. When he came, he told me he really need to to speak to me. He really wanted to know who I am. So he bring me to a room and he tell me, Dwayne is a very young boy and they caught Dwayne yesterday afternoon with 52 or 53 pounds of marijuana in his possession, trying to escort in a box of plantain. So he tell me if I was aware of doing any drugs. I tell him no. So he tell me he know the goods was not doing own, but it was somebody own and he doesn't want to say who's own.
When he come, he take jail already. How many times? The first time I used to go and see him, but the second time I was so tired, I said I can't go up that road. I tell him, it's looking bad. Each time I have to go and see him, like he behind the things. So I say, it's really bad for young children to behind like a animal behind a thing, a fence or what, behind them. So that day, he say, I make him cry. He come out, I talk to him. All the time I can't see him. I tell Siobhan, you must pray. You must pray a lot. You must have God. And friends, you must drop that. Because when you see things happen to you and you get yourself in jail because sometimes the friends, you're not even seeing them come and see you. I used to talk to him. I tired talking to him. But he's a little boy that like a lot of friends. When I sit down there, I there doing my little work. Two girls coming. From the time the two girls coming, I know something wrong. They say they arrest Siobhan for murder. When they come, the two girls come, they telling me, Costo hit Siobhan with a piece of stick. But I thought they have a lawyer in BC, warned them already. And I think Siobhan, I don't know, Siobhan had a gun. And Siobhan, I think, take the gun, he rest and the man thing and he shot the man. I think the man ran. When he ran, he go up a fence. And I think, I wasn't there. Go up a fence and he fall behind the fence and I believe that's where the fella died.
And the morning I asked him to drop me. A cousin of mine was there with him. So when he dropped me, he passed, go to my workplace and went back. The cousin of mine saw a Suzuki Jeep, a white Samurai Suzuki Jeep. After that, he went and stole the Jeep in the people's yard. So they spoke to the officer in ancillary. And when they went to look for the Jeep, they found the Jeep and they found the guy with a gun. So when they arrested him, he says he's doing that, make police arrested him. So he keep on saying he's going to kill him, he must kill him when he come out of there. And they had that little problem going on. So when the fellow got bail, he went out, met him and tell him, like they were driving, and stop by him and tell him, people tell him, he say you have to kill him, but if he want to kill him now.
I had that feeling 2 days before. It was the wee hours of the morning. I felt discomfort in my stomach. I thought I was coming down with a diarrhea. When I rushed to the washroom, I stayed there, but the pain was so strong, it was like giving birth. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I'm saying, should I wake up my husband at that time and he has to get to work in the morning? Then I stayed there, I prayed, I laid my hands on my stomach, I prayed, and I went to the kitchen, I got a hot cup of tea, and I went back to bed. In the morning, I had nothing, I was all right. But later on during the day, I was washing, and while I was outside, I saw my deceased father, his face just flashed before me, and I had a blackout or something happened, and I was like, what's happening? What's going on? And by the time the Friday, then I realized what was happening.
I dream. They pass in and look for Chauvel in a car, and they shoot him to kill him. And the same way that dream was come to me, the same way he died. Sunday morning, Marcus bring piece of pumpkin for me, and he tell me he feel for soup, and he came with the pumpkin. He tell me if I can make some soup. It was a Sunday morning, so I took the pumpkin and I did the soup, and I left the soup for both of them, and I never saw them until I saw them dead. So when I heard the shots, I did not think it was anything like that. Because I wouldn't lie to you, Dwayne always used to bust his shots. And I lie down there and I just figure out it's him. Like certain times when police come to search my house for guns, it's because of he used to be bursting shots and people around used to be complaining. And when that happened, if somebody report or something, in another 2 or 3 days, police will come around and search my house. But when I heard the shots, I got up, I go to the washroom, I come in the kitchen, I watch the time. I saw my husband was standing behind the door, like he was there watching, like he knew something was going on. And he was there watching, but I did not really think it was something like that. So I went back to my bed and I fall back asleep right away.
The last day I saw Lennon, it was a Friday. I did not cook, but I brought something from town. And Lennon came, we sat at the table. I offered him some from it, and he said that he wants to eat in the same plate with me. And I told him, but how you want to eat in the same plate with me? I'm giving you some, you want to eat in the same plate with me? He told me, I want to eat in the same plate with you, I want to drink in the same cup with you. I pushed the plate towards him, he took it, he ate from it, he drank from the glass. After he called his father, and they were laughing on the phone. And he's saying, but look my mother there, because I call you my mother jealous already. And I was like, boy, leave me alone, boy. And the last time my daughter told me, it was about after 11, he texted her and he said that he's in the cab coming up. After a good while, and I was already kind of dozing off, then I said, okay. While I was in the sleep, I heard the dog started barking with rage. Then I heard somebody, as if somebody was running in the yard. Then I lift my head from the pillow, and I heard my daughter run through my room, and she said, Lennon is on the road. The first thing that came to mind, I said, but don't tell me Lennon go and drink and he's on the road doing nonsense. But I said, but Lennon wouldn't drink, so? Then I said, Lord, take control and give me strength.
It is a call no mother wants to respond to. A child is dying on the road, a victim of crime. That is the call that greeted BZ resident Merle Pinnell a little after midnight on Saturday.
Well, I just keep wondering
what somebody like Lennon can do out there for somebody to just take his life. You know, Lennon did not deserve that. I mean, Lennon is that kind of humble kind of person, respectful, religious. You don't name it, and he's there. He would always be smiling. People, even right now, everybody would be describing him and trying to remember him with that smile. I got up from the bed. I went by the road. I saw Lennon lying on the road on his back, head down. His head was facing downhill. And there was lots of people around him at the time. I asked what happened, and everybody said, I don't know, we just see Lennon lying down there. So then I said, he fainted or something? They said they don't know. So I said, somebody call ambulance already? They said yes, but the ambulance is on the way coming. Then I went back home. I got dressed. While I was home, my daughter called the home phone and she told me, Lennon was stabbed. I said, what? Lennon was stabbed? And in saying that, you know, I just felt empty. And I was like, why would somebody stab Lennon? I got back by the road and the ambulance was there. We went to the hospital. The doctors was trying to get him to breathe. He wasn't breathing. Then they asked me to sign the form to rush him for surgery. I did so, and afterwards the police came to the hospital. They asked me to take them to the place where Lennon was on the road. I did so. And when I got back to the hospital, when it was about 5 to 5 so in the morning, the Saturday morning, that was the 27th of June 2009, when I saw the doctor coming out from the room and he put his hands in his pocket and he shook his head. And that's the last I saw. All I knew that I ran. And when they picked me up underneath the tunnel, lower down the hospital. That's where I collapsed. It was unbelievable. I still didn't believe that Lennon had gone. He had a blow to the right side of his head. He had a blow to his chin, his mouth was burst, and the stab on his left side. The doctor said that the knife had punctured his heart and cut his windpipe. And he said apparently when the person stabbed him, they twist the knife in him.
The last time I saw Siobhan, before they killed Siobhan, he passed by me where I was selling my thing. He always come and look for something to eat. He come and take something to eat and tell me, Mommy, I go see you later. Because sometime when I reach home, he just come. That's the last time I saw Siobhan. And when they killed Siobhan, call me, because I just reached home. And they tell me around 8 o'clock. They tell me, look, they just shoot Siobhan there. They think he died. And the time they tell me that, I know Siobhan died.
28-year-old Siobhan Gilbert was shot multiple times Tuesday night while speaking to a young woman at the intersection of Bize Road and the Vidbutai Highway. He was pronounced dead on arrival at the Victoria Hospital. His mother, Pamela Justin, is a vendor by vocation. She says she was just about to retire for the night when she received the word that her son had been shot.
From the time they tell me they shot him in his head, I know he's not alive again.
Gilbert has had trouble with the law before and was currently on bail for an alleged murder. Police say a firearm was found on his person at the crime scene.
Well, the way I feel, that day it wasn't like I was. I wasn't myself for how many days. After that, I stayed there. My mother was there. My mother come And he stand up there with me, and for around 3 days I think I sit down there with the same clothes on me. And after I realized, I realized it's gone. But nothing can bring it back. But when you have your son and your son doing things that's not right too, we have to understand. Sometimes I stay there, I don't want to talk about it. But he wasn't a bad boy for me.
I saw my cousin of mine. I saw he running, he coming towards my house. So he knocking on the window, calling my first daughter. So I opened the door, I tell him, what happened? He tell me, some fellas came there and start bursting shots. I tell him, when he tell me that, I tell him, He tell me, yes. I tell him, so what happened? He tell me, he's the older fellas on the floor. I tell him, older fellas on the floor?
This is the scene of one of the most gruesome crimes in the history of St. Lucia. 3 men shot execution style in their sleep.
They die? He tell me, yes. So I put the nylon and the money on the balcony and I went.
Dwayne James was asleep in the house with 4 other young men. His brother Marcus and their cousin Elias Justin could not escape the gunman's weapon either.
They have a room there, another room and another room on that side. I saw the first room was Marcus. He was on his back, dead, all his face in blood. When I went to the other room, I saw Dwayne on his belly in a pool of blood. When I looked back, I saw the other boy lie down on his bed and all 3 of them dead.
The brother's mother was inconsolable.
I can't say nothing. I just cannot say nothing. Because I feel in my children pain. And I'm just next to them there and they can't call me. None of them cannot call me. My children just die like that.
Hundreds of people from the community came out to catch a glimpse of what could be one of the worst crimes ever recorded on St. Lucia.
When I went to the room and I saw Marcus, I felt very sorry. Yes, I know Marcus was not somebody that was violent. He was nothing. Marcus was a very good boy. I know Dwayne was always in his ups and downs, always having problems with his friends and people, and they have those that always wanted to kill him, but I never thought it would be that way, like coming into their house when they're sleeping and even killing an innocent one.
The father of 2 of the victims knew his younger son's life would come to a violent end, but Duncan James feared that others would be sacrificed with 26-year-old Dwayne James.
According to the way Dwayne was living his life, I was expecting any time somebody will just roll on him and kill whatever they get there.
Yes, because of his brother's action, and I will not say wrong place at the wrong time. Or I will not say he was not supposed to be there, or because God alone knows why. Because when I used to worry more about how it happened and why it happened, and sometimes when I sit and I think, I just say to myself, well, although they say the devil does a lot, but I see it's God that let it happen that way.
I heard people say like it was for jealousy, that people was jealous of him. I heard lots of things, but I never know which one was true. They say that it was because he was the one they chose for the job. They say that it was because of the way that he dressed. But I never got to the bottom of it. I'm not sure which is true. Or if it was just a robbery, I don't know. Though some people say that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. If I were to meet the person who killed Lennon, the first question I would ask him would be why. And when I got my reply, then I would say to him that I forgive him, for he knew not what he did.
He for a gun, he for this, even though when they showed they say he had a gun in the pouch. I don't know. If you're dealing with bad man, how you think it will be? If you're dealing with people that bad man using gun and you end up using, how you think it will be? Tell me. For long you join with bad man, it's not good. It's not good at all.
They arrested my cousin, but I don't think they get any good evidence, so they had to drop him. And I was always saying, is that one, is that one, is that one, but they never arrested. Not to my knowledge, I cannot recall. The day of the autopsy, I reached by the hospital, I could not stay there. The day of the funeral, I never go back to Rambali to see them. I did everything else, but I never went to see them until the day of the funeral. When I could not identify who is who. Like when I watched them, I couldn't know which one was doing, which one was Matters. I did not go by the graveside. I went to Jackmel, but I did not go exactly where they was burying them. Up to this present time, I cannot tell you whether that's where they got buried, because I did not go there.
It was the 4th of July. It was also my anniversary. I had birthday. My sisters from church gave my husband and I breakfast in bed, like, you know, to kind of cheer me up a bit. Like, I was tempted to go, but they kept running after me. They told me relax myself. The feeling wasn't nice at all, at all. It was a very difficult moment for me, knowing that I'm going to view the body for the very last time. When we got to the funeral home, I ran up the steps and I had this rose where I took off the petals and I sprinkled them on him. And I just started talking to him, and I was like waiting to hear a reply. And since I didn't hear that voice, then I broke down into tears. After the funeral service, I was like, I want to ride with Lennon for the very last time. I think I'm going to ride on that horse. And I told a cousin of mine to tell my husband I'm not coming to the vehicle, I'm riding with Lennon. And sitting in that hearse and just seeing that Lennon is at my back in a coffin, all I could have pictured was like his face with that smile. I'm saying Lennon is not dead. Lennon went somewhere, he's coming back, and I'm still expecting him to come back. I walked to the back of the hearse, and when he pulled out the coffin, I was like, my son, my one and only son, he's going down in that sun today. I'm not going to see him ever again. All I have left is just photos and memories of him. But in spite of the sad moment, I was still saying, like, thank you, Lord. I often say thank you, Lord, because Lennon he didn't leave back any bad memories to nobody. Up to this day, people will still speak as him very well.
Tell Siobhan, go and meet your brother. Stay a good while with your brother. You don't do it. Siobhan, you come out in the jail, go and meet your brother Lage. Stay with your brother for a good while. He never do it. They can't stay home or go and look for a job or stay in a job, and they're always on the block. What on the block have?
What happened there happened for a reason. Dwayne died, Marcus died, and it wasn't too long. They arrested my fourth son with a gun, and he's now in Borderly. And just after he went to Borderly, so many things happening. Police killing, how many things, people shooting people, murder in house, how many things was happening. I say, praise God. That one was arrested with a gun and he's in Borderly now.
Let me make you understand something. Don't touch what is not yours. Don't do bad things. Don't follow bad company. If you want a little job and you're looking for a little job, you're in your little job. How it is, tell little what you're getting. Satisfied with it.
Well, my advice to parents out there is to talk to their children a lot. Encourage them to go to school. Encourage them to stay out of bad companies. Most times when children grow up and see mothers and fathers always fighting, always in problems, that does give them another character. Like, I believe the first day when started quarreling with his father, he had it building up in him.
My advice to a mother, the first thing I would advise her to do is pray with and for that child. Get to know that child. Build a relationship with the child. You can reach as far as asking that child to let you be his or her best friend. I know that there's a lot of peer pressure out there. We are not with our children 24/7. But we can go on encouraging them. Sometimes even the words that we use when we speak to our children, we must also be very careful with them. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue.
I could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on. The fool has never been